Hi guys, so today we are continuing with circles, and this time we're going to talk about the similarity of circles. Okay, so proving circles are similar. In general, two figures are similar if there's a set of transformations that will move one figure exactly covering the others, right? So last semester we learned about the different transformations. We have translations where they shift, they move up and down, left and right. We learned about reflections where they were mirrored across something. We learned about rotations, and we learned about dilations. Okay, so to prove that any two circles are similar, only a translation, a slide, a shift, and a dilation, an enlargement or reduction are necessary. Okay. This can always be done by using the differences in the center coordinates to determine the translation and to determine the ratio of the radii for the dilation. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Okay, so here we're going to find the translation rule and the scale factor of the dilation. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is see, okay, so this is x, this is x prime. So this one came first. Oh, it's really hard to see on this graph. Did not print well. Okay, but here, so maybe to help us, I'm going to write the coordinates. So this one here is -8, -3. Okay, and then this one here is 2, 0. Okay, so maybe it might be easier this way to see. Okay, so what happens is that it moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it moved 10 to the right. It went plus 10, right? So from -8 to 2, we added 10. Okay. And then it moved up 1, 2, 3. And so it added 3, right? So -3 to 0, it added 3. So my translation is that from x and y, what happened is that the x value added 10, right, to go from -8 to 2, and then the y value added 3. Then looking at scale factor, we're going to look at our radius. Okay, so this has a radius. I know we can't see it very well, but this has a radius of 2. Okay, and this has a radius from here to this edge has a radius of 6. Okay, so for our scale factor, 6 over 2, right? So image over pre-image, so 6 over 2, this gives us 3. Okay. And so what happened, the rule to go from this circle to this circle is that we ended up from x and y, we ended up multiplying them by dilating it by 3, and then we shifted it right 10, so plus 10, and up 3, plus 3. And flip. If it doesn't show up well on the homework, I'm going to actually have us look at the scanned copy on Schoology. It might help a little bit better, because sometimes when it copies it in the printer, it doesn't do very well. Okay, so here's the next one. Okay, this one looks slightly better. This one definitely looks better. Okay, so here, first we're going to look at it. Okay, so here, this one might be a little hard to see, but this one is -7, -7. Okay. So another way is you can also look at the ordered pairs, right? And then this one here is 0, 1. Okay. So what happened? Okay, so what happened is we moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the right. Right, so from -7 to 0, we added 7. So for the x values, we added 7 to translate it, to shift it over. And then for the y value, we went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We went up 8. So added 8 here. Okay, so for the x's, we went right 7, added 7. And here for the y values, we added 8. Okay. Then the scale factor, I'm going to look at the radius. Okay, so here, the radius is 2. It's 1, 2 units. Okay. And then here, if I count, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units. Okay. So G prime, so 8 over 2, which equals 4. And so the rule is that x and y changed. Okay. Scale factor got bigger by a scale factor of 4, so 4x. Oh, there should be a y. 4y, it's a y. Okay. And then we added 7 for the x's, right? It moved right 7. And we added 8 to go up for y's. Okay. And so this is the rule. Okay. So let's try one more. Okay. So here, this grid is a lot clearer. So this is my original f. This is f prime. So from here to here, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Since we went right, that means plus 10, right? If it was this to this, then it would be subtract 10, right? So if we go left, it's negative. If we go right, it's positive, right? Then we went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We went up 9, so that's plus 9. If we were going down, it would be negative. Okay. So the translation here, x and y, what happened is that for the x's, we went right 10, so that's plus 10. Again, if it was left, it would be negative, but right, so it was positive. And then since we went from here to here and we went up, that will be plus 9. Okay. Then scale factor, we're going to look at the radius. Okay. So here, the radius 1, 2. I just counted it. Here, radius 1, 2, 3. Okay. So 3 over 2. Okay. And so what is the rule? Okay. To go from this to this, all of the x and y values, okay, x, y, they were dilated by 3/2. Okay. And then it shifted right 10, so plus 10, and it shifted up 9, plus 9. And there you go. So x and y, what happened? 3/2 x plus 10, 3/2 y plus 9. Right? So now, okay, what happens if we aren't given, right? If we aren't given the picture, how do we figure it out? Okay, so here we're going to show that circle C, it has a center of -1, 2, and a radius of 3 is similar to the circle D with center 3, 4, and a radius of 5. Okay. So first, I'm going to see how the x's moved. Okay, so I'm going to take this as the pre-image and this as the image. So to find how it changes, I'm going to do 3 minus -1. 3 minus -1. Okay. So 3 minus -1 means plus 1. So 3 plus 1 is 4. Since it's positive, it meant it moved 4 to the right. Okay, or also known as plus 4. Okay. Let me go and highlight it. It might be easier for when we look back at our note. So 3 minus -1. That'll give me 4 to the right. And then for the y's, I'm going to do 4 minus 2. So 4 minus 2, that gives me 2. And so since y, that means I went 2 up, or plus 2. So 4 minus 2. Okay. Then I'm going to find the scale factor. Since I'm taking this to be my image, it's going to be 5/3. And then to write my rule, x and y, what happened is that they were multiplied by a scale factor of 5/3. 5/3 x, 5/3 y. And then for x here, since we moved 4 over, that means we added 4. And then added 2. So 4 right, 2 up. Right. So 4 right, 2 up. I think you can really tell that this is red and this is orange, but yeah, there we go. Cool. And so how does it show that this is similar? Okay, by this transformation, circle C, right? So if we start at circle C and we follow this transformation, it maps onto circle D. Okay? So if we took every point from this circle, we multiplied it by 5/3, okay, and the x's we added 4 and the y's we added 2, we would get to circle D. Okay? So let me try one more. Okay? So I'm going to start here. Circle G has a center of 0, 2. Radius of 6 is similar to circle H with center 0, -6, and radius 2. Okay. So starting with how x moves. So x, again, always moves left and right. Okay. If it's right, it's positive. If it's left, it's negative. Okay. So I'm going to take the x values. So 0 minus 0. Okay. Okay. This one first, because this is the image, okay, minus 0. Okay. So because it's 0, that means it does not move left or right. Okay. That means it didn't change at all in terms of left or right. Okay. How do the y's move? So y is up and down. If it's up, it'll be positive. If it's down, it'll be negative. Okay. So it'll be -6 minus 2, which gives me -8. So that means it moves down 8, right, because it was -8. Okay. And then scale factor. Okay, so since this one is the image, my scale factor, I'm going to use that one first. So scale factor 2/6 is 1/3. So that means my circle got smaller, right? If it started with a radius 6 and then became radius of 2, it got smaller, it shrunk 1/3. Okay, and then here is my rule. Okay, x comma y, what happened? Okay. It ended up shrinking by 1/3, so 1/3 of x and 1/3 of y. Okay. The x's don't move at all because it didn't move left or right, as we saw here with 0 and 0. Okay. However, what happened is it moved down, right? It went from 0, 2 and moved down to 0, -6. It moved down 8, so that's -8 here. That's here in my orange. Okay. By this transformation, with this rule, that means circle G, which is where I started at 0, 2, okay, if I follow this rule, it will map onto circle H, which is my image here. Okay. So that's it for today. Have a great rest of the day. Bye, guys.